are back at the Travel Cafe. It is Indy Sports Show Live. I'm your host, Brian Pointer. Crowds are bigger and bigger by the minute. Almost standing room only here in the Travel Cafe for our next guest. This is just a preview of things to come. So great to have you be here. I know that you flew in this morning and raced to get here. Scott Martin is our guest. And
appreciate it. Thank you.
You know, we have a lot of fans of yours out here. Why?
Because fishing's worldwide. That's why. You know, it's there's a lot of fishermen and fisherwomen from the state of Illinois, Indiana, the Midwest, and it's big time out here. I mean, you know, you might not have a lot of really big lakes in this area, but you just got a lot of really good fishermen.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course, Jacob Wheeler's from here. You know, everybody knows Jacob Wheeler. Yeah. So I think he's kind of helped propel the sport of bass fishing.
He and his wife just had a baby.
They did. They absolutely
See if that slows him down.
Not him much at all. But it's, you know, it's awesome to come out here and hang out with everybody. We just did a little meet and greet over by the Hog Trough, and we had just a lot of fans, a lot of young people coming up and talking about the videos they've been watching and stuff. That's good.
Well, you segued perfectly into what I wanted to talk about. We're doing Facebook Live, YouTube Live. You have over 500 million combined between Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. There's a lot of people that are watching you. Is that hard for you? Is it distracting for you?
You know, for me, it could be distracting, but for me, I've grown up in front of a camera and behind a camera my whole life with my dad, of course. And I truly enjoy the social media side of things. It's a way to really connect with the younger generation. It is a lot to juggle, you know, especially come tournament weeks where there's a lot going on, a lot of late nights rig and tackle, and it's hard to fit it all in. But you know, it's an integral part of building the sport. So I encourage every bass angler out there that has a platform to use it, because it's really what's going to keep driving our sport to get bigger and bigger.
It's interesting because you have legendary figures, of which you are one. You come from a great heritage, that are just kind of dabbling in it a little bit. They don't know how to embrace it and what to do with it. And then there's others like you who have really, I mean, you got cameras, you're constantly promoting. You know, even after your tournament last week, you were doing a video on looking back.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it is good.
What went wrong?
It is good. You know, looking back at those 2020 videos, I love doing those, and the fans love them too, especially the hardcore tournament anglers, because it gives you really an insight. And that video really is a good example of what every fisherman should do when they go out and maybe not have the day that they wanted to have, because there's always things that you can look back on and say, you know what, I should have done that, or I overlooked this, or made a bad decision on this, or I made a good decision, and let me remember that. So the 2020 videos are good.
So your dad's in all the halls of fame. Did you ever feel pressure to become a professional like your dad?
Well, he would make me go fishing every morning before school. No, I'm just kidding.
And beat you senseless. Beat you senseless.
He just made me go. I didn't want to go. I'd cry. He'd kick me out of the house. But no, you know, it's funny. He never did put a lot of pressure on me, and I never really put a lot of pressure on myself, other than to do good. I always wanted to be a tournament fisherman. I knew I was going to do something in the fishing world, whether it was being a fishing guide the rest of my life, running the marina for the rest of my life, or being a tournament angler. And so, you know, when I was 18, 19, 20 years old, I kind of bounced around in my ideas of what I wanted to do. Do I want to run the marina? You know, tournament fishing. And I wasn't in a big hurry to do the tournaments. I knew that I didn't, you know, wasn't like you had to go out there and jump in them immediately. So I kind of took my time, and I'm glad I did. You know, I got through some schooling, some good important part of schooling, some marketing classes, and started fishing the FLW Tour as a co-angler, and just started doing really good on the co-angler side. Kind of, I don't want to say surprising, but you know, I was happy that I was doing good, you know, and I kind of kept rolling with it after that, and then the whole tournament career started.
2011, 2015, you're Angler of the Year on the FLW Tour.
Yeah.
I was watching, speaking of your videos, you had a pretty interesting boat with you and your dad and Hal Lindner and who was the fourth? Jimmy Houston.
Yeah, the legends.
That's some rarefied air right there.
It was an honor to be able. I really have a lot of respect for the history and the heritage of the sport. and you know, being able to spend a day on the water and film with the lenders and with Jimmy and my dad was awesome. And I'm going to do more of that.
They probably didn't rib each other at all, did they?
Oh, they wanted to win. I mean, those guys. Let me tell you, those guys know competition.
So you have. I think you should be disqualified from any social media because you probably have the most gorgeous family of any fishing family.
Well, thank you.
But I've heard it from a couple people that your daughter could give you a run for your money.
My daughter Hillary, she really loves bass fishing. She loves fishing, just all kind of fishing, and she's pretty darn good. I mean, I'm really impressed. And I'll tell you a quick story. So I've taken all my kids fishing a lot, and Amelia, my 11-year-old, she never has been into fishing. Most of the time when I ask her, she'll say, well, I'm going to go get a pedicure, a manicure. I'm going to hang out with Mom today. You know, I'm like, all right, you know, no big deal. Well, recently she started wanting to go fishing. She saw that, hey, this is kind of cool, maybe, you know, maybe go out there and catch some fish with Dad. So Amelia started going with us. And all of a sudden, she's beating all of us. So Amelia, my 11-year-old, has got a special knack for, she doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't. She just throws it anywhere and catches fish. It's crazy. But Hillary's loving it. She's doing good. And she fished with me the other day, all day. Daylight till dark the other day on the lake. And she fished. She was paying attention the whole time and fished hard.
Well, I think it was that the beautiful thing about doing Facebook Live is we have this crowd. I think it was that gentleman right there who was telling me some stories about you and your daughter and your family. So that was great.
Yeah.
So you're here doing seminars. What is the Boat Sport and Travel Show? Why come to Indianapolis? What does this mean?
Well, again, this part of the Midwest is the heartbeat for, there's a lot of people that love to fish up here. A lot of outdoorsmen, a lot of people that like to hunt and fish. And it's a way for me to connect with this fan base out this far. You know, living in Florida, you know, it's hard for people in Indiana or Illinois or any of these states up this way to make a trip down to Florida. So it's a way, and we don't have tournaments out this way either. You know, we have tournaments in Alabama and Texas and Oklahoma and Arkansas, but we're not having many FLW tournaments up this way. So I think it's just a good way for me to connect with the fan base out this way. And it's a good show. I mean, this thing's huge. We got all the travel stuff on this side. I actually brought a wig. I brought a wig, one of those hats with the hair, crazy hair, you know, and I have an old shirt and I'm gonna put it on later on. So that way I can just walk around and do and check out things.
You brought your own hecklers here.
Yeah.
So your seminar topics, interesting. Do weird and antique lures work?
There's a funny story behind that. Two funny stories. One is I actually did a video on weird and old antique lures. And so I can talk about it. The second weird part is I don't remember telling them that was going to be my topic. So we're gonna have to invent the seminar for that one. But I did do a video on it, and we caught some really nice bass on some pretty old lures just recently, and I've got some other videos planned for some other stuff like that.
Well, your other seminar topic's a little more conventional, which is what everybody wants to know: how to catch more fish more often.
Yeah, that's right.
What's the secret sauce?
It's the little things that make a big difference, and that's what I'm going to talk about. There's all the techniques you can ever think of, but there's several little things in every technique that make all the difference in the world, and I'm going to break some of those down for everybody. So instead of just saying, hey, throw a spinnerbait out and reel it in, you throw the spinnerbait out. You're going to do a few things while you're reeling it in.
You brought up wanting to put on a disguise and walk through. I was told by Kevin Renfro, you know, when you walked in the door, you know, just to try to get over here, you did your meet and greet, and that's important, and you got to do that. But you also had a pretty cool thing with Bass Pro Shop, where you went undercover. And
yeah, that was a good.
Tell us about that.
Well, it was right around Christmas, and I thought it would be neat to go undercover inside a Bass Pro Shop. So I talked to the manager and I said, hey, here's what I want to do. We want to do hidden cameras, and we want to dress me up as an employee, and I'm going to help people. I'm going to walk down the aisles, and if somebody's looking for some lures, I'll help them out. And then I said, I'm going to just buy all their stuff, you know, all the tackle they want. And that's what we did. And so I carried a little box around, a real box that had a camera inside of it. And I didn't have a chesty on. And we had other guys with cameras with long lenses shooting through the aisles. And literally no one knew that's what I was doing. And I literally would go up to people and help them pick out colors and various things. And then I'd say, come with me. And I would go to the real counter and I'd pay for it all, you know. And the people are like, what do you mean you're buying all my stuff? I'm like, yeah, I just started working here. I just want to give back, you know, Merry Christmas. And people are like, what days do you work? you know, and I'm like, well, I'll be here every once in a while. But they actually left. I never told them. Like, they literally walked off. We didn't like run up and tap them on the shoulder later on and tell them any different. So those 4 or 5 people are still thinking that just some nice guy at Bass Pro Shops bought all their stuff for them.
Until they go to YouTube.
Until they go to YouTube.
You know, let's go back to growing up. You made a statement one time that, you know, your playpen was in the bottom of your parents' boat.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And when did you know that you wanted to be a professional? When did that click?
You know, I think I've always said it was probably whenever my dad won a tournament on Lake Okeechobee, and I had practiced with him for those 3 days prior to the tournament, and I was giving him advice. I felt like, and he was making some decisions on where he was going to fish and what he was going to do. I felt a big part of those decisions. And so when he won the tournament, he actually gave me credit on stage and said, I really want to give credit to my son, Scott. He really helped me a lot this week. He caught a lot of fish in practice. It really tipped me off on a few things that I did. And at that moment, I thought, you know, maybe I could do this because, you know, even though I didn't go out and fish the tournament, he fished it the way I was going to fish it. And he won the tournament.
So with all the people in your life that have been around professional fishing and the industry, what's the best piece of fishing advice you've ever received?
Stay humble and hungry. Yeah.
Just as simple as that.
Yeah, stay humble and hungry.
You still like what you do?
Oh yeah, I do. People ask me, do you ever get tired of fishing? And there's days, you know, when there's weeks and weeks on end, and you go, man, I don't know. You know, you kind of start thinking like, maybe would like to take a break for like a week, but then I'll take a day off and I wake up and I look out the window every time and I look at the weather and I go, oh man, I bet I could kill them today. So, you know, I want to be out there on the water.
Is there anything that you haven't done that you want to do?
You know, it would be nice to fish the Bassmasters Classic, and I don't know if that's going to ever fall into my cards. Obviously, I'm not fishing the elites. I'm doing FLW. I'm not even doing the opens right now for bass. So right now, I don't currently have a way into the Classic. But, you know, maybe there's a day somewhere down the road where I start focusing on trying to make the Classic and just trying to win that one tournament.
Of all the absolute Hall of Famer rock stars in the fishing world that you've had the benefit of being around all these years, is there anybody that you haven't met that you'd like to fish with?
I've met him plenty of times, but I want to fish with Hank Parker. I've fished with just about everybody else, and I want to fish with Hank, him and I on a boat together. I think that'd be kind of neat.
Why?
Just growing up around him all these years and just haven't personally fished with him.
Is he still hitting it?
He's still fishing quite a bit, yeah. I think it'd be neat.
So obviously your peak of your career, long road still left in front of you. Have you looked at down the road what you want your legacy to be for your family, for your fans that are out there?
I want to just put a little mark in the world of fishing for people to say that maybe I contributed to help build the sport to where it is now, you know?
I think you've done a pretty good job of that so far.
I appreciate
An awful lot of people here to see you. What's something that people don't know about you? Can you juggle? What is it?
You know, I think
this guy needs to be in every one of our sessions right here.
I know. I think people probably don't realize how much into the production side of things like I am with TV. You know, I own the TV show, the Scott Martin Challenge, but I actually produce all of it myself. I have my own production company. I physically edit some of the stuff that you see on television and on YouTube. I also have some camera guys and editors as well, but I'm a big part of that. And so a lot of the commercials that you've seen me in that have been on TV, I've produced. All the YouTube episodes I produce. And I'm a big part of the production side of things. And I think people might not realize that. They probably think I just fish and I hire a bunch of really smart, creative people, which I have a lot of great, smart, creative people around me. But I am the center part of that production force and movement, and all the ideas that we have, I'm really pushing forward for those things. So I enjoy that. I enjoy the TV side, the production side of things. As
you were growing up as a young boy, you were around a lot of the water and a lot of opportunities to fish. As you walk back and head over to the hog trough today and some 5, 6, 7-year-old comes up to you who recognizes you, maybe would like to do what you do someday, what would you tell them?
Definitely go through school, get through college, get marketing degrees, speech degrees, public speaking classes, all the different things that you can do that's going to make you comfortable in front of a set of cameras, a set of people. You know, keep your nose clean, be a good person, and again, stay humble and stay hungry.
Well, I don't know that there's any better advice, whether you're a 5 or a 6-year-old or you're a 56-year-old. We could talk forever and ever, and I know that you've got a lot of people that want to meet you and take pictures, and I want you to have that opportunity, and appreciate you coming here.
Appreciate it.
You going to do any saltwater fishing?
Soon. We'll be switching over to saltwater here in May time frame. So another month or so, I'll start mixing a little saltwater stuff.
What do you like to do?
Just about anything. Inshore to not real far offshore. Tarpon, snook, redfish. Enjoy that a lot.
Redfish is on my list. I've never done that.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
It has been my honor to have Scott Martin with us, legendary figure here, very popular figure at the 65th Annual Ford Boat Sport and Travel Show. This is why we do Indy Sports Show Live. The crowd that's here today, a group of like-minded people that are in an environment where they can have an opportunity maybe to shake hands, learn something new from the experts. And you've got about 700,000 square feet of it all here at the 65th Annual Ford Boat Sport and Travel Show. I remind you that the show within a show, the Deer Turkey Waterfowl, is going on at the same time. Indy Sports Show Live, I'm your host, Brian Pointer. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back real soon.